a warm welcome here in our studio in Sarakunda. This is Star TV News with me, Memunaju Fadera. In the headlines tonight, 5 new cases of COVID-19 confirmed by Health Ministry. The Ministry of Health and National Youth Council embarks on mass sample collection in Bakau as COVID-19 cases surges. Local bakery owner turned down profit to help needy people within the combos. On the international scene, Somali journalists face abusive means of suppression, says Amnesty International. Trump promises vaccine by the end of 2020. Russia reports highest one-day rise in COVID-19 cases despite curbs. Well, those were the headlines, and now the news in details. The Gambia's Ministry of Health, through the Acting Director of Health Services, Dr. Mustafa Bitey, has confirmed 5 new positive cases of COVID-19 in the country, noting that this is the highest number of cases confirmed in a single day in the Gambia so far. Well, Bintakuli sends in this report.
Dr. Bitey, who was speaking on Saturday whilst representing the health minister during their daily coronavirus briefing held at the Central Medical Store in Kotu, said that the Gambia have now 7 active cases and 2 probable cases. As COVID-19 cases are increasing in the country, the acting director of Health Service called on the general public not to be complacent, revealing that COVID-19 is real. Dr. Bitey said that the Ministry of Health will strengthen surveillance at all points of entry, including the undesignated ones, noting that they will also ensure there is synchronized cross-border surveillance system with Senegal. Binta Koli, Star TV News.
On Saturday, Team Solution provided hand wash items and sensitizers to the communities of Busumbala Village, Farato Village, Jambur Village and Sifo Village as part of their efforts in the fight against the COVID-19 in the Gambia. Well, Maria Madam files in this report.
The president of the association, Mr. Kemo Fati, called on the representatives of the 4 communities to ensure that their members follow the WHO guidelines so as to avoid contracting the coronavirus.
After receiving a good gesture from the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare in the fight against the novel COVID-19. We believe as students from the University of the Gambia, and of course as global leaders, and as emerging leaders as well, this is not just only about complementing the effort of the WHO, neither the government of the Gambia nor the Ministry of Health, but it's about respecting and of course accepting a challenge, a responsibility that we should play as global leaders in the fight against COVID-19. In our midst, we also have some of our resource persons from the School of Medicine who are with us here today. Along the line, we will also, from here, we will go to Farato. Then from Farato, we will proceed to Sifo and Jambur to distribute some of these sanitary items. These items are expected to be located in the most strategic locations within the various communities that we are visiting.
Speaking on behalf of the beneficiaries, one of the ward councillors thanked the association for what he called a timely intervention, as he stressed that members of the villages and VDCs should insist that both adults and children wash their hands regularly with soap on the running water, wear the nose and mouth masks, and also to use hand sanitizers while staying at home, as this will be the surest way of protecting from the novel COVID-19 pandemic. The association presented Veronica buckets, power soaps, liquid detergents, information flyers, mouth and nose masks to each of the 4 communities to enhance the prevention of the COVID-19. Community after community expressed gratitude to the team of young aspiring leaders and partners for the donation and educative information, and also thanked the Gambia Armed Forces and Ministry of Health for the logistic support rendered to the association. Maria Madem, reporting for Star TV News.
The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the National Youth Council on Sunday, conducted mass sample collection in Bakau as COVID-19 confirmed cases rise to 17. It could be recalled that after confirmation of a positive case of COVID-19 in Bakau, Health Ministry's Risk Communication Team, in partnership with National Youth Council, Bakau Youth Wing embarks on community engagement exercise in Bakau. Omar Job files in this report.
Both parties voluntarily work together to ensure that sample collection of coronavirus take place in Bakau as COVID-19 case soars in the country. Bakau community becomes a threat of the pandemic as local transmission of the epidemic emerged there. Speaking to Star TV, Haruna S. Jallo, a member of the sample collection team, indicated that people have not come out as expected on the first day, but he hopes that they turn out in numbers the following day to have their sample collect for testing, as lot of resources is involved, and he further shed light on how the samples are collected.
Surprised that I'm seeing people are coming, though they are not coming as we thought that we will find a crowd waiting for us, but I can see that people are coming bit by bit, and this is the way I in person like it, because if people were crowded here, maybe people will not adhere to the social distancing. But as is happening currently, we are able to manage and we are able to ask them to exercise the social distancing. Currently, actually, we are not conducting any tests on the ground. What we are doing, we are just collecting samples. So we will collect these samples and tomorrow they will be tested. And so the rapid test kits that maybe people thought, we are not using them currently on the ground. So and then because the rapid test kits need to go through a validation, you understand, before we can assume it to be tested in other places. But currently what we are doing, we are collecting samples, and after the collection, sample will be stored for tomorrow to be run.
Mr. Jallo lamented the challenges they face on the ground as they will work more hours than expected.
The major challenge here, when it comes to the lab side, you can see the dress, you understand, mode. So you can imagine, you understand, if somebody is put on this type of dress code for an hour, you understand, and then you need a ventilation, you need air. You know, you can see how each and every one of us you feel when you put on these masks alone. You understand, your talking and your breathing is limited. So if you have to observe them, how they are dressed, you assume, you know, are these people getting the right energy or the right air to breathe? So it is actually something that is really something that people need to be aware of. So if the lab people, personnel goes to a place and they are dressed up, you understand, they need to understand that it is not just like a mere clothes. You understand, it is difficult to be on these clothes. So let people, you know, accept us and then collect their samples without a waste of time, so that at least we can also, you know, remove our clothes and then, you know, breathe in normal air.
Mr. Lamin Dabo, the Executive Director of National Youth Council, explained that the Council is a subcommittee on COVID-19 response team in the mass sample collection exercise.
National Youth Council is a member of the Ministry of Health, Risk Communication and Community Engagement Subcommittee on COVID-19. So often if there are mass testing or attempted at contact tracing, they reach out to us and we actually go out and talk to the communities. And this has been the case in Busumbala, in Bundu, and of course here also. So we are here, we mobilize young people in the community, that is Bakau community here, especially in about 5 sub-wards of Old Bakau. K Point, Wasulunkunda, Mama Koto, and Kachikali, and you name them. So these young volunteers are going to the town to conduct house to house, but also encourage people to come for the testing that have been conducted here.
The result of the samples that were collected are expected to be out within 24 hours, while the mass sample collection will be 2 days, finishing today. For Star TV, I am Ahmad Job.
In their efforts to fight COVID-19 in the Gambia, Darussalam Youth Development Association donated cooking oil, rice and sugar worth 87,000 to 66 needy families in Manjai, Darussalam on Sunday. Binta Koli has the rest of the story.
Speaking at the presentation ceremony, Alaji Abdullahi Jallo, chairman of the Task Force Committee, said the association set up a special task force mandated to aid needy families in the community.
We formed a task force committee under the leadership of myself as the chairman of the task force committee. We were able to identify the needy families that we believe will benefit from it. So we went from compound to compound, or we seek advice from other people and ask their opinion that who are the people who you think are the beneficiary for or will be the beneficiary for this product. So that's what we did. A task force committee was tasked to assigned to go around from one compound to the other. So just to make it clear, it is not like everybody will benefit from this area, but just to at least complement the effort of the association.
He added that they will continue to help the needy families and their aid is not limited to one particular thing. They want to make Darussalam a comfortable zone for its inhabitants.
All this program that Darussalam will be continuing from henceforward, it will be an annual program. We plan that from this year up to whatever year, Darussalam will always be providing this assistance to needy families. Also in other areas, we have other targeted areas like to have a resource center for the Darussalam Youth Association, for our kids, for our brothers and sisters to have somewhere to go and to be reading. A well-developed resource center, we are targeting that. Also the development or transformation of the Darussalam Nawetan team to a divisional team, and also a community health center, because we also see that it is also another area that we are really caring or we want to have within the community here. That is a community center. And also other development projects, especially in the area of youth and child welfare. Here our doors are open, not only in the area of sports or in the area of religion, but our doors are open to every sector. So, comme nous avons dit, wala gana bu nuyo al imam ak community bi fini, Darussalam Youth Association ñoo fi ñëw tey pour joxe bagage yu am fini. Wa bala bagage yi dañ bëgg joxe history of Darussalam. Darussalam ñu ko form in 1996 ron jitali Papa Diagne, Babacar Diagne. Ñu nekkoon fi xam nañ kuy Papa Diagne. Moom moo ñu issue together to ron jitali also ndem ci yàlla suuf seeda kawam Lamin Jobaate Alaaji Lamin Jobaate ci këram leen toogoon ñu miti ñu waxtaan the formation of Darussalam. Since that loolu nag Darussalam participate in every area. So why to football kuy dem nawetaan xam nga Darussalam. So why ci yëf set setal Darussalam dina participate ci yëf set setal. So why ci juma bi Darussalam ñoo contribute from bricklaying to the finishing xale yi Darussalam yi la. So why ci educator sector bi Darussalam dina capacité seen youth yi. So diga gis yooyu noonu yëpp Darussalam defal nañ ko the community. So
Alhaji Ahmad Sek, advisor of the youths of Darussalam, thanked the association for the good gesture and advised them to keep helping their community. He said the youths know the difficulties their people are facing because of the coronavirus and the lockdown. That is why they took it upon themselves to help the needy. According to him, the aid comes from both the youths of Darussalam in the Gambia and abroad. John Sabo, who spoke on behalf of the women, also made similar remarks, saying all the elders in the community are happy because of the aid they receive from their beloved youths, saying all parents should help these youths to continue being united and to give assistance to the people. Darussalam Youth Association was established in 1996 under the dynamic leadership of Abubakar Jeng, and since then they have participated in many capacity building programs and have also played an active role in sport. For Star TV News, I am Binta Koli.
A local bakery that was established in 2016 with the objective to mitigate the country's high rate of youth unemployment has donated its products to various communities within the Kumbus since the commencement of Ramadan in the Gambia. Modu El Baji reports.
Lady Fanta's Bakery is a non-profitable bakery that gives back to the societies in the form of scholarships to the students and helping the local communities with social amenities. The bakery's managing director, Farimang Jalo, revealed that the objectives of the bakery, adding that they have a foundation which gave birth to this bakery. However, they unanimously work together in helping the needy.
Building this bakery just to, help, post the foundation so that when we sell bread, we can at least use that money, because we will be rely on people to give or to donate our foundation. We can use this bakery money in order to help people pay their school fee and do a lot of things, because we do a lot of things in this bakery. So and we have employ also people, because 100% employment in the Gambia there is Gambian people here. 100% of people here we employ, they are from Gambia.
Okay, can you just tell us how many staff you have in total?
Yeah, I can say we have seven staff.
7 staff.
Yeah, 7 staff.
Mr. Jallo indicated that during Ramadan, satisfying their customers used to be a big challenge to them, but they worked with the Sir Fariman Singate Foundation in distributing the bread to the communities. Alassane Balde, employee, urged the youths to engage in bread baking in order to be beneficial in the society. However, he also indicated that all the employees are Gambian youths. Balde also expressed gratitude to the community. Moreover, this bakery was named after Sir Fariman Singate's first lady, Aja Fanta Basse Singate. Reporting for Star TV, I am Motu Elbaji.
And now the news beyond our borders. Somali journalists continue to face arbitrary arrest, physical attacks and censorship. A recent Amnesty International report says harassment and intimidation of journalists are so deeply entrenched, it makes Somalia one of the most dangerous places to report from. Al Jazeera's Mohammed Adaw has more.
In the Somali capital Mogadishu, a group of journalists has gathered to protest against what they say is an attack on freedom of speech by their government.
Today we are standing here to protest about the arrest of our colleagues. As Somali journalists, we demand justice for all reporters behind bars. The constitution is quite clear that no one can be detained for more than 48 hours without being put on trial.
According to Human Rights Watch, Somali authorities have detained 3 journalists and prohibited a local radio station from broadcasting in a local dialect in the past 2 months. One of the detained journalists is Muhammad Abdul Wahab Noor, editor of Hiksi Radio. He was arrested on March 7th after reporting on police brutality in the capital. His family says they've been denied access to their son.
It's very worrying that they've labelled my son a terrorist for only practicing his profession. I appeal to our national leaders for the release of my son. He was our only breadwinner and we haven't seen him for a whole 2 months. I want justice for my son.
Journalist unions in the country often protest about the outdated penal code, which came into force in 1964. It includes a number of vague and overly broad crimes, including criminal defamation, offending the honor and prestige of the head of state, insulting a public officer or institution, all charges frequently laid against journalists.
What we are seeing these days or these weeks or months is an organized campaign to criminalize journalism by putting journalists in court because of their media rights or because of the right to freedom of expression, and especially the use of criminal laws which are already outdated and draconian, such as the Penal Code of Somalia, which was enacted in 1964.
According to the Committee to Protect Journalists, Somalia is one of the most dangerous countries in the world for journalists. They often face threats and attacks from government officials, private individuals, and the armed group Al-Shabaab. The right group says impunity for the killing of journalists remain the norm, with at least 69 journalists killed since 1991, when Somalia's civil war began. Mohammed Adu, Al Jazeera.
Let's take this on. We can speak to Leticia Bader, who's a senior researcher at Human Rights Watch, the Africa division, and she joins us on Skype from Rome. Leticia, tell us first of all how serious the problem has become in Somalia since the pandemic began. Leticia Bader, can you hear me?
The latest virus figures for Europe suggest that some of its worst affected countries are starting to turn a corner, but that is not the case in Russia, where another 10,500 people have tested positive in the last 24 hours. Al Jazeera's Sonia Galago reports.
An alarm call for Russia. Sunday marked the 4th recorded single-day increase of coronavirus cases. And the worry now is what lies ahead and how Russia's strained healthcare system will handle it. Medics complain of shortages of protective equipment and testing capabilities, and the high rate of hospital workers who've died from the virus. Russia's reported death toll remains relatively lower than other countries, but it has double the number of new cases it had 2 weeks ago. Authorities say that is because of increased screening.
The spread of the virus is mainly caused by those who have it without symptoms, so it's good when the infection is detected at an early stage. The infection number is rising, but not the spread of the illness itself.
In Italy, 1,000 newly recruited health workers prepared to assist doctors and nurses working inside the overcrowded prison network. Detention centres there have been at the heart of the coronavirus crisis from the very beginning, and the fear is that it could prove to be a hub for renewed infections. This, as the leader of the Roman Catholic Church used his Sunday address to call for international cooperation to combat the pandemic.
It is important to unite scientific capabilities in a transparent and impartial way to find vaccines and treatments, and to guarantee universal access to essential technologies that allow each infected person in every part of the world to receive the necessary medical treatment.
France is now preparing to enter its final week of strict confinement measures. Its health ministry announced that the number of people who have died from COVID-19 rose by 166 to more than 24,700 on Saturday. While figures for those admitted to hospitals continue to decline, it comes with a warning from the health minister. If infections rise in the coming week, the lockdown could go on. Sonia Gallego, Al Jazeera.
President Donald Trump says the United States is working very hard to come up with a vaccine for the coronavirus by the end of the year. He also reiterated claims that China was responsible for the severity of the outbreak and said businesses in the U.S. needed to get going once again, despite its increasing death toll of more than 67,000 from the coronavirus. Al Jazeera's Rob Reynolds reports.
We are joined now by President Donald Trump.
In a virtual town hall-style event broadcast on the U.S. television network Fox News, President Donald Trump predicted rapid development of a COVID-19 vaccine.
We are very confident that we're going to have a vaccine at the end of the year. By the end of the year, have a vaccine.
By the end of this year?
We think we're going to have a vaccine by the end of this year, and we're pushing very hard.
Trump went on to claim that he was not told till late January by U.S. intelligence agencies about the spreading coronavirus. Some reports indicate that those agencies sounded the alarm on January 3rd.
On January 23rd, I was told that there could be a virus coming in, but it was of no real import. In other words, it wasn't, oh, we got to do something. It was a brief conversation.
Trump blamed China directly for the pandemic. He promised a report with new information on how it originated and spread.
I think they made a horrible mistake, and they didn't want to admit it.
More than 68,000 people in the U.S. have died from COVID-19, and the numbers are rising. Trump said the toll could reach 90,000, a higher number than he has cited before. Many public health experts are warning against premature lifting of stay-at-home orders, saying that could lead to a new surge in infections. Without giving any specific dates, Trump said the U.S. needed to restart its economy soon.
We can't stay closed as a country. We're not going to have a country left.
The president ducked a question about safeguarding vulnerable nursing home residents and called White House reporters' questions horrible. It is widely considered that the presidential election in November will be a referendum on Trump's handling of the pandemic. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera.
And before we end the news, a recap of our main headlines. 5 new cases of COVID-19 confirmed by Health Ministry. Ministry of Health and National Youth Council embarks on mass sample collection in Bakau as COVID-19 case surges. Local bakery owner turned down profit to help needy people within the combos. Somalia journalists face abusive means of suppression, says Amnesty International. Trump promises vaccine by the end of 2020. Russia reports highest one-day rise in COVID-19 cases despite hopes. Well, that's all for this edition of the news. Please enjoy the rest of our programs and join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching.